I'm Kevin Petrus, a lieutenant with the Public Affairs Office here at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. We're here today to talk about two different armed robbery investigations from this week. One is an armed robbery series that's occurred this week that has now culminated in the arrest of the suspect due to the extraordinary work of members across the CMPD. The other is an active investigation that we are helping, or that we're asking for the public's help with. So here to talk more about that and give details is Lieutenant Brian Crone.
Good afternoon. In the past, I've talked with you guys about how critical our team dynamic is when we're approaching our violent crime investigations. And the investigation that we've worked on began kind of early on Wednesday afternoon or mid-Wednesday afternoon and ended early the next day. It's really demonstrative of that. So we kind of wanted to bring that information to you. This all started on Wednesday, January 18th, about 3:30 in the afternoon. Hickory Grove Division officers responded to an armed robbery of a Walgreens in the 7100 block of East W.T. Harris Boulevard. During that robbery, a male entered the store with a gun and demanded money from the clerk and fled in a vehicle. Armed robbery detectives responded to that, as they always do, and began their investigation. After that Walgreens robbery, there were 4 additional robberies that appeared to be committed by the same individual. During these robberies, the individual did use several different cars. And we essentially, sent out we call it a be on the lookout or a bolo out to the entire city. So we started leveraging all of our resources. We had real-time crime, criminal intelligence, our crime analysis unit, armed robbery, and of course patrol out searching for this guy. When you see somebody start committing crimes back to back, that's deeply concerning, and we want to address that immediately. So again, we were throwing everything at this. During that investigation, we were able to identify a suspect and deployed our crime gun suppression team to conduct surveillance along with our violent criminal apprehension team to work to identify and to apprehend the suspect. That suspect's name was Jamaris Smith, and he was arrested early on Thursday without incident. As a result of the ongoing investigation, Smith was also charged in connection with the robbery of a Sam's Mart on Tuesday, early Tuesday, in the 4600 block of Sharon Road. He's currently in the custody of the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office charged with 6 counts of armed robbery and 2 counts of kidnapping. We're also continuing to investigate to determine if there are any other crimes associated with Smith. This swift arrest was the direct result of our team approach that we take. Like I said, we used our resources with the Real-Time Crime Center, with criminal intelligence. Patrol division is incredibly important in that they're out searching for this guy, and at one point actually located one of the cars he'd driven. It just wasn't being operated by him, as well as the community. We had some folks that also spoke with us during this investigation that were critical in providing us with information, which led to this arrest. So again, we just wanted to highlight this great work in apprehending a really dangerous guy very quickly. There's the second case that we'd like to share with you guys. Is actually an armed robbery that occurred yesterday at this same Walgreens in the 7100 block of East W.T. Harris Boulevard. In this case, we really need the public's help. We're going to share with you guys some photographs of the suspect in that case. They'll be pushed out following this as well via the PIO. The suspect in this case yesterday afternoon entered the business and went to the pharmacy and robbed the pharmacy. Following that the pharmacy robbery, he left on foot. As I said, in some of these photos, I believe they're scrolling through the screen, you can see that the suspect is a black male who is wearing a gray hoodie, maroon jogging pants, and white sneakers. The witnesses described him as being thin and about 6 feet tall. He appears to have a cross tattoo between his eyes and a tattoo on his left hand. Although this person's wearing a medical mask, you can see in those photos, I believe that if you know this guy, you're going to recognize him immediately, particularly based on the fact that he's wearing these clothes yesterday and those distinguishing marks. There is a reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. As always, if you have information, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. We don't need your name, we just need your information. And again, sharing that information with us can result in you receiving a financial reward for that. So we really appreciate the public's help in stepping forward and helping us to solve these cases. I'll answer any questions you guys might have at this time.
How do you spell Jamaris?
Jamaris is Jamaris. His date of birth is 6/16 of 1989.
Question,
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
able to provide any information or detail about an armed robbery of a mailman that was held at gunpoint yesterday off of Candlewood Drive?
Yeah, there was a robbery yesterday. I think it's the 6600 block of Candlewood Drive.
Yes.
And like I said, that's really early in the investigation. We're definitely pursuing that, and we're working with our federal partners to see what happened.
So no information at this time?
Nothing that we can share at this point.
And do you believe that this person knows Jamara Smith, or that that's connected?
No, it's just it appears at this point to be completely unrelated, other than the fact that they robbed the same business. So different MO. Like I said, the first robberies, Smith's in custody at the time this happens. It just seems to be a coincidence. But we did want to highlight it because when we have photos of somebody we think can be readily identified quickly, we want to get those out to you. So actually, it was kind of funny to realize that halfway through it's the same one.
What did he get away with from the pharmacy?
It's things from the pharmacy, so certainly just targeted all the things, medication money are the things that they're targeting when they do that. Yep.
I guess, are they targeting certain businesses, like Walgreens?
No, it seems to be that they were just targets of opportunity. There didn't seem to be, we're going to push out all of the complaint numbers to you guys, so you'll have those case numbers and addresses. But it appeared to be obviously places that were accessible that have cash on hand, so your typical places that are robbed, such as, drugstores and gas stations, but they were kind of all over the city, which is a little bit unusual as well.
Do you believe that this guy is responsible for other armed robberies as well?
No, at this point, we think this is a one-off, but again, the distinguishing characteristics we think makes it a really good opportunity to push out and ask for the public's help to get it resolved quickly.
In the Smith case, are those stolen vehicles that he used, or those accomplices?
They were legally obtained, I can say that. So there's kind of a couple of different situations of those cars, but none of them were stolen.
And as far as the Jamara Smith case, can you paint a picture at all of how you believe he was able to get away with that many robberies?
I think it was just because they happened so quickly back to back that, we've got robbery detectives at one location following up on those leads, and the next one's coming in. So that's why it's real critical that we have all these resources to throw out, because as a detective, like, you're focused on this case and the last case, and the next one's still coming. So it's like you almost can't move fast enough to catch the guy. And, eventually we get enough resources at it, we get the traction, and we catch him. So it was really, really quick, and you'll see that from all the times on these robberies.
What kind of message do you hope this sends to the community about, not getting away with a robbery like this?
You won't. So our unit has a fantastic clearance rate. We also have an outstanding relationship with our partners at the FBI. So our business robberies that we conduct are also screened by, we actually have a detective who's a member of the Violent Crime Task Force, so he is a TFO, and all of those cases are screened together with our federal partners. And if federal charges are applicable, we file those as well. So there are people that are getting substantial amounts of time for conducting these business robberies. We want people to feel safe in conducting business. We want clerks and we want cashiers to feel safe in doing their job.
And you believe he operated alone?
Absolutely. There's no evidence that anybody else is involved.
Prior history?
He does. He has convictions. You could pull up for the arrest, but I believe he had at least one prior conviction for armed robbery, as well as some fraud charges. All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Crum. The Public Affairs Office we're going to be putting out 2 different media releases, one for each of the things that we highlighted today. They're going to contain report numbers and other details along with the photos. Thanks for joining us today.